With the Tesla pickup truck announcement getting closer, I wanted to share some of my thoughts of what I think it's going to deliver as far as specs, looks, and price. But I also want to take a broader look at why this market segment is so important to not only Tesla, but to the industry and future of EVs in general. There are several EV trucks already announced and on the way, but which ones are most likely to gain mainstream adoption? When the Tesla announcement hits very soon, most likely in the next week or two, will we be seeing something most people wouldn't believe, or will this end up being a moment lost in time, like tears in the rain? I'm Matt Farrell. Welcome to Undecided. Before I get into it, I wanted to mention that I'm going to be at the Fully Charged live event this February in Austin, Texas. I'm a huge fan of Fully Charged and everything that they're doing for the EV and renewable energy community. And if it's anything like the events they've held in the UK, it should be an incredibly good time. More details to come, but if you have any interest in attending, I have details in the description on how to get discounted tickets. I hope to see some of you there, and be sure to say hi if you see me. I mean, I'd say hi first, but we haven't met yet. It probably won't come as a surprise as to why Tesla wants to make a pickup truck in the first place. In the United States, pickups have been the best-selling segment for decades, and the Ford F-Series has been the #1 selling vehicle for years. In 2019 alone, the F-Series has sold 662,000 units. Compare that to cars like the Honda Accord at 204,000 and Toyota Corolla at 233,000. The top 3 selling vehicles in the United States are all pickup trucks. So if you combine the Chevrolet Silverado, the Ram pickup, and the Ford F-Series together, you'd be looking at a whopping 1.5 million trucks so far this year alone. And that's why it's not a surprise that Tesla is designing their own pickup. When it comes to trucks going electric, there's a major upside to going electric motors over internal combustion engines: torque. When you're hauling or towing thousands of pounds of materials, torque is the key to getting the truck going. It's not a truck, but the Tesla Model X is capable of towing about 5,000 pounds. That's not bad for an SUV, but most trucks today can tow around 10,000 to 20,000 pounds, like the Ford F-Series at 9,500 to 18,400 pounds. And being able to haul between 6,000 and 8,000 pounds is in the ballpark for typical trucks today too. That means EV trucks will need to meet or beat those capabilities to win over the transition to electric. So as of right now, there are only a handful of EV trucks that have been announced for release in the coming year or two. The one that's getting a lot of headlines is Rivian with the R1T. The design of the truck is unique and looks stunning. It's targeting squarely at the lifestyle and adventurer market, so it's more in line with Land Rover than the Ford F-150. Even though it's not meant as a workhorse, it's still a very capable truck with 1,800 pounds payload and 11,000 pounds towing capacity. Its battery options range between 105 and 180 kilowatt hours, which gives it a range of 230 to 400 miles. And not that you'll be doing a lot of drag races in a truck, but the highest performance version has a 3-second 0 to 60 time. It's due to start shipping next year at a starting price of around $69,000, but will most likely start higher than that and work their way down. Still no pricing details for the performance variants, but it would not surprise me if it's around $100,000 or so, which is definitely in the luxuries lifestyle segment. In the same segment is Bollinger with the B1 and the B2. This is a fascinating company that's been self-funded by Bollinger himself as they build out their own prototypes. One of the things I love about Bollinger is their very opinionated design, which is a mid-century modern look. It's kind of timeless. It's definitely not for everyone, but it really makes a statement and will absolutely pull in some buyers. It has a large 120 kilowatt hour battery, but a fairly low 200-mile range. That could be from poor aerodynamic design, but it's not a big deal based on who this is targeted at and how it will get used. Again, it's another very capable truck at 5,000 pounds payload and a 7,500 pound towing capacity. It has dual motors that bring 614 horsepower and a 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. The downside? The $125,000 sticker price. This is definitely going to be a niche machine. But the big guy on the block that started to show off what they're working on, but still has yet to announce a lot of detailed specs, is Ford. They have the hybrid Ford F-150 coming out next year and have said that their all-electric version is due around 2022. They made a lot of buzz with a video showing off their prototype towing a 1 million pound train. And while impressive, it was a little bit of smoke and mirrors and marketing magic because the math doesn't actually work out to it towing 1 million pounds. The YouTube channel Engineering Explained put together a great video breaking down the physics and math behind what was actually going on there. It's still impressive, but it's not exactly what it seems. As the top dog in the truck market, it makes a lot of sense why Ford is coming out strong and announcing this truck early. They can't afford to let any EV upstarts get in early and steal away market share. I'm a fan of Ford, and I'm actually pretty happy to see them shifting in this direction. Shifting to EVs for their truck lineup doesn't just make sense for environmental reasons, but it also makes sense practically. EV trucks will ultimately be able to haul and tow more, as well as offer up incredible potential for powering tools at a job site. It's going to be a pretty easy sales pitch once they start to hit the market. So if you follow Tesla at all, you've probably seen some of the crazy artist renderings floating around the internet about what the Tesla truck could look like. And most of them have tried to tie back to two things. One, the very limited view of the truck's front that Tesla released earlier in the year, and two, Elon's comment on the Recode Decode interview.
It's going to be like a really futuristic, like cyberpunk Blade Runner pickup truck.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing.
Who are you trying to sell that to?
So it'll be hot stuffing.
Mm-hmm. Who you
Stuff's my
want?
heart. And he's like, I find it's like, oh, this is great.
He's also said that this truck isn't going to be for everybody if you expect a standard looking truck that we've seen for the past 30 to 40 years. If that's what you want, this is not going to be the truck for you. No matter what, it sounds like this truck is most likely going to be divisive for looks, which got me wondering, who is this truck for? You can break down the truck market into a bunch of subgenres, but the two big ones are work trucks and lifestyle trucks. Is Tesla hoping that people looking for hardcore work-style trucks will buy in? People who need to haul heavy materials, go to work sites, and power their tools? Or are they hoping to hit folks who like to do minor hauling from time to time, light off-roading, and towing a camper for vacations? Those are two very different audiences we're talking about. And if Tesla is designing a truck that's too out there for workhorse trucks, they're cutting themselves off from a pretty sizable market. And if the truck is oversized and overpowered for the lifestyle market, they'll be missing out there too. Of all of the designs people have been making that are floating around out there, I'm most inclined to believe the look is a seamless slope from the front of the truck to the roof, much like the Tesla Semi, but far more aerodynamic and sporty. Something tells me it's going to be something closer to this, which is created by Justin James. The designer who's working on the Tesla truck also designed an early Tesla concept, the Model 0. It won't surprise me at all if we see some of that design DNA make its way into the truck design. And according to Elon, it's the best looking thing they've ever designed. Based on everything that's been teased, we know that Elon wants to target the base price at under $50,000. And from Ryan McCaffrey's great Ride the Lightning interview.
I think it's got to start at less than $50,000. It's got to be like $49,000 starting price max. And ideally less. Even 49.
I think he just made a lot of people really happy who are interested in the truck by saying that.
Yeah, it just can't be unaffordable. It's just got to be something that's affordable. So now there'll be versions of the car that are more expensive, truck that are more expensive, but you've got to be able to get a really great truck for $49,000 or less.
It's most likely going to be a dual motor design, but beyond that it turns into heavy speculation. If you look at Tesla's track record, they always try to create cars that have no compromises and can meet or beat the internal combustion engine competition. They don't want their cars to be good for an EV. They want them to be good as a car, or in this case, a truck. That means delivering something that will meet or exceed something like the Ford F-150. This is just my best guess, but I think it's going to easily beat the Ford F-150's hauling and towing capacity, which means something like 20,000 to 30,000 pounds in towing range. It also means a truck that will probably have 800 plus horsepower and will blow the doors off of any 0 to 60 time we've seen from a pickup. Most likely something around 3 seconds, which is even good for a car. And I have to tip my hat to Sean Mitchell for this one. It's probably going to have the Tesla armor glass they created for the Tesla Semi. If this is a work truck and has a very large glass windshield and roof, it'll need to be extremely durable. I'm in complete agreement with Sean on that one, and it will absolutely be capable of 250 kilowatt charging speeds. But I keep coming back to the question, who is this for? And I'm not exactly sure, and it's clear that Elon is just trying to make something desirable. From the same Recode Decode interview with Kara Swisher.
Who do you want to sell that to? People who buy F whatever?
I actually don't know if a lot of people will buy this pickup truck or not, but I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I do care eventually, sure, I care, we want to get gasoline and diesel pickup trucks off the road.
Regardless of who the intended audience is for the Tesla pickup truck, it's definitely going to get a lot of attention when it's announced shortly. And as the internet has pointed out, November 2019, LA, and Blade Runner are the perfect combination. I'd love to know if the timing of the announcement was planned around the movie. Of all of the EV trucks hitting the market in the next year or two, it's Tesla and Ford that get me the most excited. Tesla is going to be pushing the boundaries of what we view as a truck, and Ford is going to be pushing a mass market EV truck that will meet or beat their own best-selling vehicle. I love the competition we're starting to see in the EV space, which is going to give us better vehicles, better prices, and more choices. For us, it's all a win-win. So what do you think the specs are going to be for the Tesla pickup? Will it fit right in with the rest of the crowd spec-wise, or do you think it's going to stand out in more ways than just its looks? Jump into the comments and let me know. I'm also curious if there are any truck folks out there interested in going EV. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends because it really does help the channel. And there are some other ways to support the channel too. Check out my SFSF shop for some cool Tesla, SpaceX, science, and undecided shirts. There are some other links in the description for some great gear and discounts too. And as always, an extra big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Your support really is helping to make these videos possible. Be sure to check out my Patreon page for additional details about joining the crew. And if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to get alerts when I post new videos. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.